Hi, Stephanie. Welcome to GRA 420 again. This will be some video feedback on your logo sketches as well as your early stages of your website. Stephanie, let me know if I'm looking at the wrong things. I noticed that on here it's Espinosa, and elsewhere it is Cardona. And that brings to mind a particular problem that unfortunately I think women in our culture have, which makes maybe a monogram or initial letters in a logo not such a good idea. And it's really unfortunate. And I realize in some ways how discriminatory it is to have anybody make a monogram from their initials. So, having said that, people get married, people get unmarried. Whatever the reasons are, think about that. You want recognition over the long term, right? And that's why my sister, I guess, doesn't have my brother-in-law's last name. But in any case, all joking aside, I think of these, I'm drawn probably to the one at the top. And I like the elegant quality of it. I like the informal quality of the calligraphy. But just, remember that true calligraphy is going to have varied characters. And so when I see something like this, where the A's are identical and the other repeated characters, the N's, it makes me think that, well, it's a digital font. And there's something kind of disingenuous about that. So if you use that type of font, make sure that you alter it in a way that makes it closer to calligraphy and something made of your hand than the imitation of calligraphy. I hope that makes sense. But formally, it's just right. And I like the thin, graceful quality of this. A little nervous, perhaps, against this very elegant, almost couture-like ligature of two letters tied together. This is successful too, I think, but I think it's going to be, what does it suggest? Is that spilled grape juice? Is it watercolor? Are you a watercolor artist? Are you a graphic designer? It looks beautiful because you have a nice pairing again of type and image, but it makes me wonder, what you're about. What are you trying to project? Just some suggestions there. Now, when I open up your logo sketches in Illustrator, this is what I get. I get prompted for some fonts that I don't have. I don't have, for example, Ballerina Script, and I don't have this fancy type, Marchand de Venise. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Is that one of the scripts? It's kind of, one of them was really beautiful. So anyway, this is what I see. So make sure that you convert things to outline format. And to give you a demonstration of that quickly, here's a typeface that I do have, is a script face. I'm not implying that it's any better than your choices. It happens to be something called Flemish Script. And you see it makes a nice ligature, very believable because, our pen, when you calligraph an italic script like this, it rarely leaves the surface and one character is tied to the other. Well, anyway, very simple process. You select it, you go up under Type, you go to Create Outlines. Come on now. There we go, Create Outlines, and see what happens fairly magically. Then there's another thing you can do to truly make this one glyph, as they call it, and that is to use the Pathfinder to join them. You have some options here. Let me see if I can close this up here. Yeah, here we go. Take a look at these options here. Just experiment with them. I've got both the S and the E selected. What happens if we divide them? Well, that's one thing. What happens if we, unite them? There we go. That's the desired effect. And so what it's done is that overlap, it's gotten rid of, let me zoom in here, and it's made this perfect outline vector character between the two ligatures. So, Stephanie, here's your website. I hope I'm looking at the right thing here. And I appreciate the amount of work that it takes to get this far, with a website. It's taken probably about 3 classes, what is it, 320, 410, this class, the capstone class it's going to take before, it really evolves into something that you can be proud of and will display your work nicely. For the purposes of this assignment, or last week's assignment, you need only give evidence that you have a place on the web where we can all come and take a look at your GRA 420 work. And it looks like you do. This is, I guess, a Bootstrap template. It presumably won't be too difficult to replace this with the logo that you develop. And we'll treat it as a process, too. I wouldn't consider it finished at any point, but it is a work in progress. You've shown me evidence, though, that you have a place to put your work. Good going.